ask you about the title, Coco, because it's a beautiful title, but in Mexico, you know, it relates to an entity that's scary for children. So how did you decide to use that title at the end?
Well, we were aware of that. We knew about Coco, the kind of the scary Coco, but that was never what this movie was about. But I don't know. I think I liked that there was a little bit of a mystery about it. And then I think there's still a lot of mystery for people about why the film is called Coco, even though people now know that Coco is the name of Miguel's great-grandmother, who he lives with. They still don't know why she's so important that the movie would be named after her. And that we can't tell you today.
No,
You'll have to see the movie.
I like that it comes from Socorro, and I think it's an old-fashioned name, and then it so happened that one of our consultants' mother was named Socorro, so it was kind of a coincidence. I don't know. I love that. Also, the shape to it.
It was our code name for a long time.
Yeah.
Every time we make a movie, before we have a title, we have a code name for it. And every once in a while, those code names end up being the name of the movie.
Wow.
And that was the case with Toy Story. It was never supposed to be called Toy Story. That was just a code name. And Brave.
I'm really curious about, I know you do a lot of research trips for every movie. And talking about movies that have a country there, like really significantly, Ratatouille and Brave are the other ones. But I still think that for this movie in particular, this thing was bigger than for the other movies. Is that something that I feel because I'm Mexican and then I've seen this more, or is it something that really happened?
No, it's true. I mean, yes, on Ratatouille and Brave, those both took place in specific places, specific countries, and so there was important research that needed to be done. But with Coco, we're not only telling a movie that takes place in Mexico, but it's about a revered tradition in the country and in the culture, and it was that much more important that we tell the story right, that we make it accurate, that we tell it from a place of deep respect, and so I think we had more on our shoulders on this film than any other film that we've made in terms of telling the story right.
You were really surprised when you found out that a lot of families live together, like generations and generations live together in one house. But this particular thing with the chancla, that you hit somebody, what did you think about it? Like the first time that you knew that happened, like what were your thoughts, like your reactions?
I had heard of it before, but originally Abuelita, Miguel's Abuelita, we gave her a wooden spoon that she had tucked into her apron string, and she would pull that out and whack people with it. And it was in showing it to our cultural consultants that one of them, Lalo Alcaraz, said, he drew us a drawing one day, he said, no, you got to give her a chancla, she's got to pull off her shoe. And we thought, oh, that's so perfect, A, because it's accurate, but also Miguel lives in a family of shoemakers, so it just seemed so perfect to have her do that.
Talking about the John Ratzenberger tradition.
Yes.
What about that? He has a line, right?
He does have a line in the movie, because we weren't going to be the ones to break the tradition.
You cannot say the line, right?
No, people have to figure it out.
Okay, but
he does have a line in the film. Well, we're proud that we put together an all-Latino cast on this film. It was very important to us from the beginning that we fill as much of the cast as we could with Latino actors and specifically Mexican actors. So they're not all Mexican, but a good number of them are. But John Ratzenberger is our one token non-Latino. But again, he's been in every movie we've ever made, so I needed to find a line for him.
He was very excited to be a part of it.
Yeah. Okay. So. Talking about Gael, what was the thing that attracted you to him? Because we have a lot of Mexican actors. I mean, it could have been anybody.
Yeah.
But
we looked at a lot of different people.
We looked at so many.
Okay.
We looked at a lot of different people. I've always loved Gael. I've been a fan of his for many years. I've seen most of his films. And so he was always on our short list of people who could play Hector. But one of the things that I didn't know is whether Gael could do comedy. Because he'd been in a couple of comedies, but they were kind of quirky films, and I just wasn't sure that he could do it. And luckily, thankfully, the heavens have a way of aligning from time to time, that right when we were trying to figure out how to cast the part of Hector, Gael started doing the TV show Mozart in the Jungle, and which is a comedy, and he's very, very funny in it. And the more that I watched, the more that I was certain that we had found our Hector. So we approached Gael and kind of pitched him the story, and thankfully he immediately was enthusiastic and excited about doing it. And the moment we started recording him, we knew that we had made the perfect choice for the part.
Yeah, he's so charismatic and quirky, and has so many shades, and he can also, he just has a very broad gift of talents, from comedy to deep emotion.
Talking about Dante, do you have any story about your research trips in Mexico where you saw a dog and then that dog followed you, or like something happened that touched you with a dog?
The first time we saw them was at the Dolores Olmedo Museum.
I think those were the first Xolo dogs that I'd seen in real life. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we knew we wanted Miguel to have a traveling companion, mostly because we had done a lot of research into kind of old Aztec myths about traveling through the afterlife and needing to have a dog companion, and those were Xolo dogs. And so it made perfect sense to have a Xolo dog in the film, and I loved that it was a kind of dog that we'd never seen in any movie before, ever, live action or animation. But then when we started going down to Mexico, and also there are a lot of people here who own Xolo dogs, we had a lot come visit the studio.
Yeah.
We just really fell in love with them.
Yeah.
They're not, they're strange dogs, but we wanted Dante to be a strange dog. Yeah, they're very
strange.
cool, but they're strange because they don't have hair, and that's
They're
unusual.
not fluffy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They're not, like,
But they're really, really interesting dogs, and we wanted Dante to be a quirky dog that was maybe outside the box and different than your average kind of standard cute fluffy dog.
Yeah.